This morning, and this week, you guys will be getting to hear from your very own chaplains. Let's give them a good welcome. This has been something a long time in the making. It's something that was tried once before and it kind of flopped, but we were able to bring it back this year. I want to thank the efforts for your chaplains, their effort and their dedication to getting this thing done and putting it on for you guys, the student body here. Our theme this week is the journey of faith. The journey of faith. Now, whether you believe it or not, whether you acknowledge it or not, every single one of us is on this journey. Okay? Every single one of us is here, whether it's a place where you believe already or a place where you don't. Everyone is somewhere on this path. Everyone is moving in a direction on this path. And we have a specific verse that kind of highlights this path and what it takes to really follow it. And it's a verse that's actually special to me. It's found in Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge Him, and He will direct your paths or make your paths straight. Now, the first time that I heard this verse, or really had a positive interaction with this verse, you could say, was the first year that I joined the basketball team at my high school. Okay? I actually went to a junior academy, so we had kindergarten through 12th grade all in the same school. And to be eligible to join the basketball team, you could actually start in 7th grade, and you could kind of be a part of it and learn from the high schoolers and all the big ballers, right? What was cool about the experience is that my dad was the head coach. And I never really got into basketball until I joined the team that particular year. And my dad did something really interesting as a coach. He had this contract that we had to sign, and we had a whole aim, mission, and motto for the team. It was really neat. And the mission and the motto were just like a verse and a statement. But the pledge was like 10 paragraphs. And we ended up memorizing the entire thing. And we would say it at the beginning of every practice. It was a really cool experience. And there's still parts of it that I remember, even though I haven't looked at that paper or recited that thing in more than 10 years. It's really cool. But our theme verse for the team were actually 2 verses. And both of those verses now you guys have come in contact with this year. Our main verse for the entire year, who can tell me what that verse was? Anyone remember? Isaiah 40, 31. But they that wait on the Lord shall renew their strength, shall mount with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint, which is my favorite verse. And this verse was the other verse. These 2 verses were the ones that we memorized as a part of the basketball team the first year and the subsequent years that I was on it in high school. So I have a lot of good memories with this verse. Now, following God's leading is something that we would strive for, but it's not something we always do well. Would you agree? We say that we want to follow God's path for us, but many times our experiences kind of veer us off of that path. And that's okay, that happens. That's a product of the world that we live in. And even for me and your fellow staff members here, they would tell you that though we strive to follow God's path, we are not perfect. And we veer off the path as well. And our experiences, the things that we go through, I believe God sends us and allows us to experience to remind us of the path that we should be on. For a lot of us, we go through life assuming and feeling and acting like we're right and that we're correct. And those experiences remind us that we are not. And what God allows us to go through just gives us that continual reminder, hey, I have a path for you. I have a way that you can go that you'll be successful. If you trust me, I can bring you places that you have no idea, and I can get you to all the goals that you want to accomplish in your life. Our chaplains this week are going to be sharing some of those experiences from their lives. And they're going to be highlighting specific things from their experiences that contribute to the journey of faith. Different aspects of things that we can do to help each and every one of us for wherever we are on the journey of faith. Principles that you can apply to make your experience a better one, I believe. I encourage you to give them the best of your attention, to sit up straight, to listen well, to not fall asleep, to do what you can to take full advantage of these messages your students presenting, your fellow students presenting to you. Once again, let's give it up for them.
Hello. Yeah. Okay, before we start, we pray. Let's pray. Heavenly Father, Lord, thank you for this day. Lord, thank you for bringing us all here after spring break. Thank you for keeping people safe. Lord, please be with these students. Let my words guide them, and also be with my words so that I can guide them. And in your name I pray, amen. Good morning, guys. How was spring break? Okay, good. Yeah, my topic today is obedience or following God's word. Wait. Sorry, still on spring break. But before I start my talk, I want to do a quick activity. So I'll need one representative from each class.
Let's go.
Don't be shy. Quickly. You can volunteer, it's gonna be quick. Come on. Junior. Thank you. Thank you guys for volunteering. But for this, I think I'll need 5, so can I get one of the staff to join? Anyone? No?
Miss Angeles! Miss Angeles!
Okay, we're gonna play a fun little game. Okay, it'll be fun. So, if you guys could. Thank you. So this game is called Simon Says. So when I say Simon Says, clap, you clap. Oh, I didn't say Simon Says though. So we're gonna go through this really quick. So Simon says, jump. Simon says, clap. Simon says, jump 2 times. Jump 3 times. Simon says, kick with your right foot. We'll do this one last time. Simon says, oh man, high five the person next to you. Simon says, take a step forward. Take another step forward. Simon says, take another step forward. Simon says, take a step back. Again. Okay. Simon says, go back to your seats. Thank you guys for volunteering, for being forced to come up. Everyone, thank you. It's very much appreciated. So, the purpose of Simon Says for my top is obedience. You know, God gives us something to follow. You know, on each of our paths, we have a path. Wait. Yeah. On each of our paths, there are many paths. And the path that we want to follow is the path that God gives us. And you know, sometimes, you know, Simon says, when he says, Simon says, you do it. But when he doesn't, you do it sometimes. Because you get confused, because you don't know which path to follow. But you gotta, you know, follow the right one. Okay, I'm gonna get into my talk now. Okay, so how many of you know what disobedience is? Okay, that's good. Okay, so you should know that you should be obedient, right?
Yes.
Well, when I was a child, I did not know that at all. They called me the typhoon of the family because I was very wild and I would cry for no reason. I would run around, get hurt, and then cry and blame someone else. That's how it was. Oh yeah, a story that comes to mind is when I was around 4 years old. I had a nanny and my parents were working. It was just a normal day, you know, going out, playing the grass. And we have this hill going to our house, and it's made out of concrete. And my nanny said, don't run up there. Don't even think about going up there. And I said, yes, no problem. No problem. I will not do it. As soon as she turned her back, I ran. I ran up that hill. And as soon as she heard me running, she was like, oh! She was like, come back. Walk down. Don't run down. And I was like, I'm gonna run down. So, as I was running down, I ran, and I just felt this rock trip me. And I went, bang! 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 And as soon as I got up, it felt weird. I was like, that's weird, and there was blood. I lost the forefront from my Man, it was really bad. And as I explained, I blamed everyone else. So I cried, and I blamed my nanny. But yeah, I lost my forefront teeth. They were just in like a glass cup. I ate soup for a while. I really got that. But yeah, I was rough. That's disobedience for you, man. Another story that comes to mind is when I was 6. 2 years after. I still haven't heard my lesson. We went to Guam for, I don't know, my aunts had to dance or something for some festival. I forgot. It was a long time ago. And we stayed in this hotel. And this hotel had a slide. Oh, it had a slide. It was so nice. And every day we would go, because I would keep bugging them that I wanted to go. I'd say, hey, can we go to the slide? Can we go to the slide? Can we go to the slide? And we go to the slide. Yeah, every time I go to the slide, they always tell me, don't run up the stairs, you're gonna trip and fall. And I said, okay. And I actually followed it for the first 2 days. After the first 2 days, I was like, I'm confident. I can run up these stairs. I've walked these for 2 days. It's fine. So as my aunts left, they said, hey, remember, be careful, don't run up the stairs. And I said, okay, I won't. There even was a sign that says, careful, slippery stairs. Oh man, one sign wasn't enough. They went their own way, they went to swim, and I was like, yes, I'm gonna go down that slide. So I kept on going on that slide repeatedly, a lot. I did not swim anywhere else except for that slide. I ran up those stairs so many times. I even met like some other kids, and I was like, oh, ha, ha, slide. We kept on going and going, and one moment it was raining, and we were all, you swim, you're wet too. So I went up the stairs running, and I slipped. And then bang again. But this time it wasn't my feet. It was the corner of my eye. It started bleeding, and I was like, okay. I was scared because they told me not to run, and I ran, and now I'm hurt, and they're probably gonna get scolded by my dad. So I had to pass the lifeguard to get to them, and I kind of regret it because the lifeguard is there to, guard your life and keep you safe. So I snuck past him. I was like, nope, not today. And I ran to my aunts, and they were just having a good time. They're talking, they're just swimming. And then they saw me, they're like, no. They're like, what happened? What's wrong with you? I'm like, I went up the stairs. I started crying because I knew I did something wrong. And they're like, oh, no. So we went back to the lifeguard that I just passed. And they said, please help him. He patched me up real quick, just put a Band-Aid on. Some medicine. I cried again because I thought it hurt. But it really didn't. But yeah, I have this scar. It's smaller now. It's great. It's smaller. It used to be like this. Now it's like this. Yeah. So through there's more times where I've been disobedient, and it's still hard now, honestly. Sometimes we feel like these rules are, these rules suck. There's no point in these rules. It's just but nah, it's great. You gotta have rules of society. When I was young, I did not know what disobedience was or obedience. There was no line between any of them. Yeah. But as I grow older, I'm not that old. I'm still 17, but I like to say that I'm old. Disobedience, we feel like, it's not a big, even the small things, maybe they say, don't run in the halls, and you run in the halls, and you're like, I'm slick. But oh man, no. I'm trying to blank. Oh yeah, okay. So, as I grow older, disobedience, I find it more and more hard. By hard I mean, it's hard to obey, I guess. Yeah, and in God's word, there's always, He gives you a path, and you gotta follow that path. And sometimes you just don't want to. And that brings me to my next story, which is Jonah and the whale. God told him, go preach, but he said no and went the other way. And God gave him a sign, and that sign was a big fish, and that ate him and spat him out. But yeah, I think we all need a sign in our lives. Sometimes we see the sign in our lives, and we're like, nah, it's nothing. That's just coincidence. Sometimes it hits you hard. Sometimes God has to break your teeth. Sometimes God has to cut your eye open. But He didn't really do that. That was my fault. Bad analogy. But yeah, I think you get my point. You know, through this walk we have with God, I think that we should always try to follow His way, what He says to us. Sometimes, again, we don't want to follow. Sometimes we just want to do our own thing. But then again, God will come with signs. Signs. Huh? And I think, I think obedience is so weird. I just said, yeah, it's weird. Because something that's right in someone's eyes may not seem right in another person's eyes. You know what I mean? We all have different walks. If someone gets a sign and you don't, that doesn't mean your walk is not there. You're still on your walk. You gotta just trust the process. Follow the word. And if nothing's happening, there's always God. You can always gotta ask God for help. Be obedient. Start your prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, thank you for this day. Thank you for being with us. Please be with all of us through this path. Let us trust the path that you've given us, each and every one of us. Though it may be different, please be with us through this whole thing. If we ever disobey or stray off, Lord, you know that you can always bring us back. You can always give us a sign. You can always just bring us back into the path that we need to follow. Be with all of us. Be with everyone here. And thank you for letting me talk with the students. In your name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
I want to say thank you to Chaplain Callie for his presentation, and I hope that you all are inspired and encouraged to look at the experiences that we've gone through. You guys know what they are, and to try our best to follow God's path and to be obedient to the path that He has for us. That's where the best blessings are. All right.